ES is dropping, okay? But it's going to be all right, I think. We'll see. What's going on, guys? What's up, Stewie? Stu Clot. It's good to see you, brother. I haven't seen you in a while. Dropping. Let's mute that. Yeah, it's not my fault the ES is dropping. Calm down, guys. It's really not my fault. No, I hopped on, and you know this trading's getting pretty riled up. Here's your 4-hour, and we already have a huge drop. We need to be careful, but yeah, it's definitely tanking. What's up, B Stewie? What's up, Stu Clot? Yosef's in the building, and we got quite a few in the background. Hit that like and subscribe and vote on the poll. Let's get this party started. All right, we got a lot to go over today. Of course, we're going to spit out a quick interest rate intro. We'll keep it quick, we'll keep it simple, and we'll make sure it's not boring for you. And then, of course, we're going to go over the earnings. We have a beautiful earnings set up coming up for you, so we're going to keep you up to date with that, let you know what's going on this week and the start of a new month, February. We're going to go over those earnings, of course, and then we will go over my watch list, and, of course, we have a little segment, the beefiest segment you will ever see. So I promise you, if you guys stay tuned, we have a lot of fun stuff to go over. And of course, we're constantly upgrading this channel. We're always trying to make it better. So if you have any suggestions, please just let me know. And if you're looking for mentorship, just reach out to me at davidworrell8@gmail.com. That's right, davidworrell8@gmail.com. We'll catch you up on the technical analysis, how to follow those leaders and those trends, because we are swing traders following momentum patterns using trend and base breakouts. Now, with that being said, you have to understand the SPY had a big pullback. We're already down to 591.52. It looks like the tariffs are starting to tear up that market as we head lower in the overall market. Now, I do like to see this new higher low. We'll see if it can hold that new higher low at 590. If it can hold that 590, that would be a great sign that we're still holding on to new higher lows. But if we start to roll over, we start to break everything down. But we are below all moving averages right now. That's not the best sign. What's up, Jimmy Bright's in the building. Troy Wiseman, what's going on? Shemaid, what's going on, guys? I hope you guys are ready because we have a new way of doing some things today. And of course, the first thing we're going to hit you with is interest rates. Interest rates with Jerome Powell.
Oh, yeah.
All right, now with these interest rates, we always like to go over these really quick just because we want to have a better understanding of what's going on in the market. Now, March 19th is going to be your next interest rate decision. It plans on being, as of right now, 84.5%. We are going to have a rate stay of 4.5. Now, I've already went through all of this. Your best look is maybe in June here. It looks like we have a higher expectancy to come down a 0.5%. So we need to wait all the way till June before that happens. Now, these numbers can change as there's different information coming in, and each week there's new information. So as long as we stay on the right trajectory, June, we are looking for a rate cut. And then somewhere in December, if we zoom in till there, we can see we have a 31% chance of actually being down a 0.5 point. Meaning this year, we're only looking at cutting rates twice so far, and that we most likely will see just 2 at each 1/4 point. So that is your CME Fed Tool Watch. And one thing I just wanted to show you guys is just the kind of overview on this, where you can see in April where we went up to 5. In October, from October 23rd all the way till August 31st of 2024, that's when we started coming down. 5 points, 1/4 point, 1/4 point. Now we're having that rate stay here for another 3 or 4 months. So we'll see what happens, but just I like visual perspectives. It makes life a lot easier for me. So just keep that in mind. We're looking at a stay, which is going to be harder for people to borrow that money, which makes it a little bit more difficult for businesses to continue to grow like crazy though, okay? So we can look at the max, which is always nice to see. You can see back in the 80s here, I think this is when Volcker was the Fed. Right now we have old Papa Powell, but Volcker had to raise interest rates like crazy, and you can see it finally got us all the way back down to here, these amazing interest rates of 0.25, and of course, by the time it hits the bank, it's more like 3.2, but whatever. Right now, we are on a decline, and hopefully we continue on this decline. So that is your Fed rates. We're always looking forward, and of course, we're always keeping an eye on the SPY as we are still heading lower. But we always need to keep in mind what moves this market. Well, there's a lot of different moves that come in the market. One of the biggest ones is earnings. A lot of times when you see an earnings like this, very well stacked, you're going to see momentum shift in the market. So make sure you stay focused on what's going on. And we have that for you. Sweet Zamora. What's going on? Smaid said, why the market crashed? Well, I think the tariffs, my friend. I think there's a lot of news out there now. It might be more than just the tariffs, but because there are so many ifs, ands, whats, or buts when it comes to these tariffs that he's creating, he's shaking the market up with this. So until that uncertainty starts to calm down, that is when we'll start to see some volatility retraction, some normality come into the market. One thing I do want to show you just before we go to the earnings is the VIX Volatility Index. You can see we did pop up here, and we are up a little ways. We're at 17. Now, really anything below 20 is nice. Some of the best markets, are in this between 16 and 20. Any lower, it can be nice as well. But you want less volatility, helps those common bull trends to the north side. So VIX Volatility Index is a little higher, but we never know what's going to happen. Jolene Martina, what's going on, girl? It's good to see you in the building. All right, so we're going to go right back to the earnings whisperer. And we just see that we have an absolute stacked week ahead of us. So regardless of the ES pulling back and not looking too tasty, you can see here on the earnings whisperer that we have a lot to come. So I don't care about this pullback right now as long as it holds a new higher low. The issue that I see is that no matter where we sit, a lot of this in front of us is going to help dictate that market direction and sentiment. So first thing I see here is market close tomorrow is Palantir. I know this is a big one. PLTR was an absolute banger this past 3 months. This is PLTR right here. You can see back up at all-time highs. You can see right here constantly gaining amazing sales and EPS growth. That's quarter over quarter. That's what you want to see in a leader, and this thing was a leader for a long time. Now, I got weary after we had a big sell-off and it broke its 50-day moving average. After the new higher low was put in here, it was looking a little better to me, but I don't like the V-shaped bottoms. They're less likely to work out. I much rather see a cup with a handle form, but regardless, the market doesn't give a shit what I think. Right now, it's looking decent overall. Now, if we look at PLTR in the after hours, or I'm sorry, in the early hours, you can see we had a bit of a sell-off. Now, I will say this, guys, when you see the ES, when you see the futures trading, okay, if we bring up the ES and we look at the S&P 500 minis, you can see we have this big pullback here. So anything that we look at, we want to ensure that it holds up well. We're looking for relative strength. So if the market has a big pullback, but a lot of your leaders are holding that pullback, so it doesn't continue to pull it back, that's a very strong sign. So as we pull back, look to see what those leaders are doing in the market. And of course, I have those leaders for you. Now, back to the earnings, because this is so very important. So we have PLTR in the after hours, and I know we were a big group. We were bulls on PLTR for a long time. I know it was Dan Bob's baby for quite some time as well. What's up, No E? It's good to see you in here, brother. So watch for Palantir. That's really the biggest one that pops out here. I know this is a pretty decent sized company as well. Another bank. But I like Palantir. I think after the close, there's going to be a lot of people watching that. Now on Tuesday before the open, we have PayPal, we have Spotify, Pfizer, three big companies. Of course, PepsiCo. And let's see, the after hours, AMD, Google, Chipotle, Snap, Amgen. There's a lot. Lumen, yeah, that's pretty much the big ones that pop out to me. So big companies. Tuesday after close is going to really shake things up. Before open on Wednesday, you have Uber, Disney, Toyota. Toyota's not really that big of a one. Wednesday after the close, you got Ford, Qualcomm, and ARM. Now, if you see Qualcomm and ARM do something big, it could change possibly the sentiment and direction for those chips. So keep an eye on Wednesday after the close, big time for sure. Aflac. We also have on Thursday, Roblox, my most hated stock out there. Roblox has earnings coming up before the open on Thursday. We have Hershey's, Peloton. Oh, I hate Peloton too. Lilly, LLY. We have AMZN, ELF in the after hours, Affirm in the after hours. Microchip, Pinterest. Sweet Jolene's favorite, Pinterest, because she's still using it, but I guess it's getting pretty popular with the youngins still. But yeah, Uber. Uber before open on Wednesday is going to be a big one, definitely, Jolene. And Friday, I don't see anything, that I'm too interested in, but it's right here if you are. I know Canopy Growth for all you potheads out there. CGC, I identified, this one as one of the many failures in the cannabis sector, and CGC continues to fail. So that's what we have for your earnings list, your earnings whisperer. You let me know what you're watching in the chat. I know we have PLTR. I know we got quite a few other ones. Oh, looky, Pinterest is coming. Yes, Jolene, Pinterest is coming. Now, we're going to run through the sectors. I need to be quick about this because I don't want to lose any of you. I know sometimes charting can be boring, but I think it's important that we talk about our leaders, okay? So let's just run through it. Of course, the S&P 500 is going to look a little different now. It gapped down below all the moving averages. IWM took the biggest hit here as it is trailing down around 7% right now. Now it popped back up actually, 3.21% down. Our biggest issue here right now is over 8% for Bitcoin. Big sell-off on Bitcoin, but at that area of support. That support is at 92,500. We have the NASDAQ. It's down 0.15%, so actually holding up generously. We also have the Dow Jones Industrial also holding up very decently. The SMH is back down at its area of support again. If it cannot hold this area, I think we can head down much further, much faster. So do be careful with that. And we're going to have a lot of change on these, okay? XLK, that's part of your technology, NASDAQ. You have your consumer discretionary still above all moving averages. Hopefully it can hold. Hack's been very, very nice when we talk about cybersecurity, looking well. XRT, the retail ETF, still above this $78 area, looking mighty fine. We have communications holding up well. We have software tech holding up well. Now this consumer staples not doing so well, below a 200-day moving average, not the best sign for those. We have regional banking. This is KRE. This is looking like a cup. We still need to form the handle on there, but we know that the bankings have been doing really, really well. If you look at XLF, you'll see that. Biotech. So one thing I found is there's a lot of healthcare, there's a lot of biotech out there that's looking really, really nice. But the biotech ETF is not. So we do need to keep that in mind when we're looking at some of these stocks. We also have the real estate sector just right underneath this 200-day moving average, but this is an area of support down here. If you need me to, I can just paint the picture. Paint the picture. Let me see if I can do this. Oh, wow. Oh, this is going to take me way too long. There we go. So this is your area of support. You can see, I can just drag this back actually all the way back to here. You can see it's been supported 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 different times. And now it's came back, touched this area, just kind of like we did with healthcare, XLV, coming up, we can show you right where all of this area of support was, and we came down and we tested that support and we're bouncing up higher. Now, I would like to see and make this the new higher low, and if healthcare can get up off of this, I really think there's a lot more room for our healthcare to continue to climb. This might be the sector rotation that we need. Now the RSP, this is the equally weighted. You can see we're still above all the moving averages. I think tomorrow morning that's going to change. But gold still holding up very well. Now, with all of this being said, I really think the market is trying to tell us something here. When we have such a big pullback in the market like this, it's showing that there is fear. There is fear on the table. And well, one thing that I do like to point out is when we look at this, just so the fear doesn't get to us, is I have these channel lines here, okay? I really feel like if we hold this channel, we're going to be just fine. I think right now we're below all these moving averages. We're sitting somewhere in this area, okay, below all the moving averages. But if we can snap back up and create another new higher low, we're still in the right trajectory. Okay, so I don't want anybody to panic just because we're lingering around down in this area. Let's just look at the right price. 591.22. We're right here, 591.22. We're right at this area, okay? Right where this marker's at. We're right in this area, guys. So I truly think that if we can hold this regression line, we're at an area of confliction, and I think we can bounce from this area. And if we do, I think it's a very, very good sign. Now, just before we go through my sexy watch list, I have a nice little segment I would like to go over with you, and that is your boy Beefy Stu's incredible charting watch list.
Oh, I see you over there. You got problems? We've got the beef.
All right, people, I hope you're ready for this one because this is what we have that's part of our Discord. And I have to hype up our Discord because right now it's absolutely free. It's $0 to get in, but with the spam that it comes, I think I'm just going to charge $1, like $1 a month, or maybe a one-time dollar fee for everyone, so that way it reduces all scammers. But right now, you have to understand, if you're a part of this group, I'll never private message you. Nobody will private message you. So if you get a private message, that is a scam. But this is a free Discord. If you guys want to join it, B. Stewie actually just posted that link tree in the description. You can go, as long as you have an open mind and a golden heart, you can join our family, our community, our squad, and you'll see charting like this. And by the way, I am the #1 leader in this Discord. I just want everybody to know that. B. Stewie is just behind me. Let's be very clear about that. And if he passes me up, he will be kicked out of the chat room. Anyway, let's go over a few of his charting. Now, if we scroll up here, you can see plenty of conversation, plenty of talk. We're very live, very active, especially during the week. But one thing I want to show you is this amazing charting. He brings up all these different charts, and the way he does it is just beautiful. He's showing these trend lines. He's showing the basing area right here. Absolutely beautiful. I want to blow this up a little bit more here. Let me go back up here. Just because I want you guys to understand when we get new people in here, okay, they'll say, hey, what about ticker WAY? You know, and that's how you start. You question, you say, what do you think about WAY? But I always return the question, well, what do you think? Well, I like the company, you know, and then it progresses as you get better and better and better. And I've watched Stewie's progression from day one. I've watched him bring this crap up and ask all the dumb questions. And now he's doing beautiful charting like this, where if he posts something like, hey, take a look at this, now we already know it's 3.52% ADR. We know that it's trending up because he's showing us a daily timeline. He's showing the trend lines, and he's showing the basing breakout area. We're also seeing a quick quarterly statement over here where we can see the revenue is increasing, the profit margin is increasing, and we just have a quick visual that their earnings are constantly climbing as well, and they are beating those estimates. So it's beautiful. If I want to see a chart this is exactly how I want to see it. So Way is one of those that was on his charting. We also can look at a few other ones. WGS. Now, WGS, if you guys remember, we called this basing breakout right here. Absolutely beautiful. Let me blow this up a little bit more for you. Beautiful. Now look, he's got all of these basing breakouts marked out for you. And I know a lot of people, they join, they're new, and they don't understand like, hey, can I see some basing breakouts? Well, a lot of times you're too far zoomed in on the 5 minute, on the 1 hour, whatever it is. Well, right here, he zooms out on the daily time frame for you, and he puts right here, it's WGS on the 1 day time frame. It's got a 9.8% ADR, meaning it can move almost 10% in a day. It's a faster mover. And right here are your financials. You can see they're slowly getting out of debt. They're slowly gaining higher profit margin, and their net income is slowly growing quarterly over quarterly. These are the leaders that you need to watch, people. I don't know how many times I have to tell you, but I'm sick of you penny stock Mickey Fickies in here just completely ruining your account because you think that you need to buy cheap or buy stocks that are downtrending. This is uptrending. This is leading the market. This is a necessity, okay, in the market to follow leaders and to chart like this. So I just got to call my boy B Stewie out. I think it's a new segment we're going to do every Sunday because he has such good charting in here, and I want to lift anyone up that's working hard to achieve greatness. And you can see our wizard Beefy Stew is just taking the reins and just showed us really we need to step our game up, okay? So that is just something I wanted to bring up, and we're going to continue to do segments just like this. Here's a beautiful basing breakout as well, an MIND, 8.85% ADR. It's got this beautiful trend line to the north side, and you know, that's one thing that if you're into MIND, then put it on your watch list. Of course, none of these are buy or sell recommendations, but these are some of the things that he is watching. And if you want that real time, join our Discord. It's absolutely free. B Stewie posted that link tree in the chat. Yeah, baby, join the squad. Jimmy Bright says, watch out for scammers. Had one today. Yeah, I had a few people reach out to me and say they were acting like me, reaching out to people. I'm like, hey, man, like, I'm sorry. Like, I'm not trying to act like I'm too cool for you, but I'm not, I'm not ever going to reach out to you in private message. If I want to, I'm going to tell you in the general chat first, and then we're going to get it, okay? All right, let's go over some of the leaders, folks. Now, Tesla, I'm sure a lot of this is going to change because really I should just show you on this because this is my real-time data on here. So Tesla, being the leader that it is, had a pullback but still holding a new higher low off of this base. So if we can hold this area, now I'm looking at this on the 4 hour, and down here's the daily, so you can see it, because we want to see where these are going to open up. If it opened up right now, we'd be opening up at 383. If you look at the daily time frame, we're still sitting at 403.58. So we're looking at a smaller time frame just to see where we are at on the overall market. And you can see if we hold this new higher low, I don't like to count this wick so much because it was earnings, it was very volatile. But if we look at this, we say this is a low right here, and we say that this is a new higher low, we would consider this holding that new higher low. So I'd like to see it hold that area and continue higher. If not, things are a little weary in the overall market. Since we have so much volatility, we're getting whipsaw action to the north side and to the south side. Next up is CYBR. This is a beautiful looking software stock. Now, what I like about CYBR is this beautiful trend, but what I don't like is I have not found an area to play this yet. You could have played this simple base breakout at 364 or this simple base breakout right here at 332. But in actuality, I much rather see a longer base like this that I never got in, or possibly another longer base starting to form. So we'll see what happens with CYBR. Now we have Meta. I know Meta and Google took some hits because of this news. So let's take a look at Meta, and we'll take a look at Google as well. And you'll see a big reason why it's smart to sell before earnings. You can see here, earnings came out for Meta. It had a lot of volatility here. Now pulling back, it's trading at 666.83, so $666.83. It's still above its 10-day moving average after that huge pullback. This really just looks like normal movement for Meta. It's normal movement for Meta. It's still holding up. It's still acting like a leader. So we'll see if it wants to continue to hold. Of course, we have Wix. I've had Wix on the leaderboard list for quite some time now. And you can see it's running into an area of resistance that just under 250. So it reached a new all-time high of 247. If it breaks above that area, I'm going to consider it as a possible buy. It's a slower mover at 3.8%. And of course, earnings ruins everything. As on the 19th, we have earnings coming out. So if you're going to get in, just know that you're in for a good time, not a long time, because I always say earnings is a gamble, okay? Let's see. Let me see what else we got. Next up, we have INTA. I just felt like this one needed some more time, some more sideways action, but another leader in the market. Now, Root, I would love to see tomorrow morning how Root held up. This is a one I've been talking about for over 3 weeks now, and look how well it's holding up. So the overall market's pulling back. This thing is just riding higher. This is a beautiful thing. I have an alert all the way down here for a retest because you can see it finally broke above this yearly area of resistance, broke above this after getting tight, broke above this. Now, if it can come back down and retest this area, that's when I want to load the boat. That's where I'm going to be buying Root, okay? So if it can come down and retest this area, show me this area is truly strong, then I'm going to load the boat on Root. So I am waiting very patiently for that. Okay, now, of course, we have Rocket Labs. Rocket Lab had a huge pullback. It's going to stop me out tomorrow morning unless we get something new. But Rocket Lab, I noticed we were creating new lower highs and new lower lows on this, and I just did not care to see that. I did not care to see that. Lots of wicks off the top. It made me a little nervous, but I wanted to stay true to my stop loss, so I held on to it over the weekend. And sure enough, it ripped through the stop loss, popping back up. So we're going to see what the market wants to dictate for this trade in the morning. Will it stop me out in the morning, or are we going to stay above this and continue higher? Either way, when we come to Rocket Lab, I'm only down about 70 bucks in this. I kept a very tight stop because I did not like the price that I got it up for up here at that $30 area. Let's bring up BYRN. I don't like this red candle. Unless this thing just rips right back up and gets back up into the area that it was at, I don't care for BYRN, but RDW, beautiful breakout and then pulled back into that area of consolidation, which is you can't really consider that a good sign, but it's nice that, you know, it's going to have more time to set up because I like longer, bigger bases rather than it just taking off without me, right? We also have HMW. I think it's still within this channel regression line where we have to give this some more time because it's just up here at those all-time highs. It needs to kind of pull back and get back down here and find a bounce like it has multiple times off that 50-day moving average. So if you're looking for a slower mover like HWM, you know, that's definitely something that you might want to keep an eye on. So HWM does move at 2.4%, much slower, and had a nice big pullback down to the $118 area. So if we do look at this and we look where it's sitting, here's the $118 area. All the way back down here. Still a little bit more room to come down, to be quite honest. But this is a nice pullback. It might be a good area to maybe start dipping your toes in the water, but that's not how I trade. I'm just kind of talking out loud, giving you some framework that you might be able to follow. But I do like the EPS, the quarterly earnings, and the sales popping up here looking very, very tasty. Hood still looking very nice, even with a pullback. I'm sure it's above its 21-day moving average. So let's take a little peek. So yeah, it's still above that 21-day moving average. So this is normal market movement for this trade. Of course, pulling back down that fast, that hard is, it's kind of hard to see. Especially it's moved over an average daily range percentage. So it's moved further than it normally would just overnight. So that can make you a little bit nervous, but let's see. I want to come clean. I use too much cream in my coffee. Dude, you guys got to stop with that cream in that coffee. I'm telling you. Next thing you know, you'll be putting sugar in it. Then you're going to be one of them basic you-know-whats at Starbucks asking for some weird crap. The extra mocha latte double pump caramel, whatever. I don't even know. I don't speak that language. But the second you start putting that creamer in there, you're gonna go full blown. You're gonna go full blown needing some kind of weird coffee at Starbucks. So be careful with that. It's addicting. All right, guys. So next up, we're gonna take a look at Bros. So BROS. We identified this simple base breakout right here. Simple base breakout, trend breakout, or cup and handle, depending on how you want to look at this trade. We even had a breakout, a pullback, and a retest before we break out. So Jolene says we need to put HIMS back up on this list, and I think we will absolutely do that, only because I don't want no problems, girl. I don't want no problems. But let's take a look at Bros right here. So Bros had a nice pullback. I'm waiting for that retest because if we look at the daily down here, a beautiful basing area over about 3 weeks. And you can see it broke out here. I am waiting for that retest. I'm going to load the boat. If we hit 61, that $61 area, I'm going to buy it, or a $60 area. Excuse me. Ooh, I'm getting old. This $61 area for Bros, if we come back and retest this area, I want to get in. That's where I want to get a piece. So I think we are seeing a little bit of extension in the overall market. So it's nice to see it actually pulling back. But the question is, will it hold that new higher low? Next up on this list, we have HIMS. We have HIMS. Look at HIMS. Now, sweet Jolene told me about HIMS, and she still felt very comfortable with this pullback. What I did not like about this pullback is this new higher low. It created these new higher lows, but I really started to lose attention with HIMS after we had 1, 2, 3, 4 new lower highs, and then we broke the 50-day moving average. We did not hold it like we did multiple times down here. So I will be very honest with you. I removed HIMS from our leader list because it was not looking strong compared to a lot of the other stocks, and the XLV, the healthcare sector, was below all of its moving averages at the time. So I took it off the list, but I put it on the back burner, and I'll be honest with you, this thing really caught me by surprise. Now, what I should 100% do is never take one of these stocks off here if it looks like it could still set up with earnings like this. With EPS growth like this and sales growth like this, we need to keep these on our charts and have a much closer watch. So yes, HIMS is on the leaderboard watch list, but with it already having that breakout, we're going to be looking for a retest here. And you can see, if you like HIMS, HIMS is retesting that area. Now, I would like to give it some more time to let these moving averages catch up to this area, but it did pull right back down to where we started on that breakout. So we want to watch it close in this area. So I do like HIMS. It's looking good, but HIMS is a leader, 100%. And I'm not arguing with you, Jolene. I don't want no problems, girl. What's up? Robert Tainch is in the building. I haven't seen you in a little while. It's good to see you in here, my friend. Let's see what else we got on this leaders list, shall we? So we have SE. Now, SE had this beautiful basing breakout. We also see this as a cup and handle. Now, SE today, let's just take a look to see what has happened as we have pulled right back down into that basing breakout area. So we want to see these leaders holding these areas now, okay? So if we're back down in what I consider its area of support, which is going to be this whole gray area right here, we want to see it hold this area. If it can hold this area, I think this could be a great buy opportunity for myself. But we want to see it bounce. We want to see it hold a new higher low. So here's our low. Here's our new higher low. And we want to see this new higher low hold and a new higher low form. If that forms here, we can dictate that there probably will be a bounce here and proper risk reward, as we can use this previous low as our risk management, okay? Much love. Right back to you, Jolene. Love it. All right, so let's look at Reddit. So Reddit is probably going to give me a smackdown in the morning. The beautiful thing about Reddit is we followed this beautiful basing breakout. We took this basing breakout and I held it for, well, I'm still in it. The issue with it is our DDT has now pulled back and it hit my area where it was break even. So I was up a pretty penny, and now in one day I'm down 107 bucks. But the great thing about buying the base breakouts at the base breakouts and not buying them after they have broken out is, even though we have this huge pullback, this huge sell-off in Reddit, I am still up $94 on this trade. So I am not sweating this trade because it's not even hit my stop loss. It's only came back down to my buy-in area, so it's retested that area. So I have a few options. I can either add into this trade because we have pulled back to this area, or I can say, hey, I'm still hands off. I'm still waiting for my trade to work out. And that's all I'm doing here. I don't add because I have mucked up so many good trades by adding. It pulls back and I stop out away from my original stop loss, and then this thing carries on wayward son, and I feel disgusted with myself. So I do not add to trades. Right now, I am just going to be holding RDDT. If it stops me out at 169, then so be it. But until that happens, I'm going to continue to hold Rocket, Rocket Lab too, but RDDT. We also have APP. Now, APP, I explained this all last week. As a leader, it had a beautiful basing breakout. Same thing though, it's right back down to its basing area in the on the 4 hour here. You can see it right back down to where I bought it. So I'm up $15 on this, right? So the thing is, guys, is when we play these, I'm not a day trader. I am a swing trader. So there's going to be swings and fluctuations in the price. The thing that I need to stay focused on is where my stop loss is. Do I like my stop loss being all the way down here at this low? Well, no, because if this thing breaks this 50-day moving average, I'm not going to want to be a part of this. So I'm going to go ahead and move my stop loss up underneath its previous higher low right here with a little bit of wiggle room. And if it breaks this area, then I will exit this trade. Finn McCool popped in. What's going on, homie? Massive volatility right now in Bitcoin and Ethereum. Yes, absolutely. We'll be watching Crowd, ACN, PH, and Google after earnings. Good luck to all this week. It will be a wild ride. Thanks for popping in, Mick Cool. And you know, I know that you keep a very close eye on the VIX Volatility Index. I think everybody else should too. Just know where it's at. Know where if things get a little too exciting, you don't have to trade. You can sit back and relax. Just respect your stops. You know, take the trades when you think you're finding proper risk to reward. And if you do that, you're going to be able to live to trade another day. Next up, we do have Google. Now, I've had Google on the watch list for a while now. Google is doing a very good job being the boat that it is, still managing to have quarterly EPS beats and sales beats constantly. So I love to see Google doing this. I love the cup and handle, also the basing with ascending triangle or ascending trend line. This is a beautiful setup. I had to sell, and I sold on this day right at that 267 because we had earnings in 4 days, which is coming up very, very soon. And now it's less than 4 days. Earnings is coming out, let's see, that's on the 4th. So in 2 days, yeah, so not Monday, but Tuesday, Google comes out. Now, I had a buddy who followed me into this trade, so congrats, Jay. He sold the next day and ended up getting out somewhere around 204. So congrats on that. We're making some good money in the market. Now, with Google and its pullback today, let's take a little peeky gander. As we pulled way back, but where is it at? Right back at that base breakout area. These basing breakout areas show support. If not, they are resistance until they break through. So if you can find proper risk management on a basing breakout, well, a lot of the times we come back and retest in these areas. And that's exactly what Google's doing right now as we speak. Now, if it continues to break down and it breaks this previous higher low at 190, that's going to be a very bad sign for Google. But if it comes back down and continues to ride this trend and make new higher lows, Google will still be intact. B. Stewie says, please like and subscribe. Take a look at my screen, guys. I'm going to show you how to do it since you don't know how, apparently. Let me refresh this, see where we're at. We got 11, 12, 13 of you watch, 18 of you watching right now, and 11 likes. just smash this like button. It's real simple. I've already clicked it once. I'll unclick and click it again. Hit that subscribe button if you want to see more of this big talking chin. And of course, we have a poll right here. Right now, the question is, how do you feel about the market's direction? 38% think the market will continue higher. 43% that we will have a more pullback. 5% says, just give me that watch list. And 14 says, chin up, Buttercup. And I tell you what, sometimes it's a lot of work keeping this chin up because it's so damn big, it can drag the market down. Now, it's not my fault, okay? Okay, it's not my fault. I'm here to help. Next up on these leaders is going to be AXGN. Take a peeky gander at this. Now, we're going to have some differences in AXGN, but I do like how tight it was getting, forming a base up here at the top. Still needs some time. We also have VTSG. Now, this does not have a setup on it just yet, but we are keeping it on our watch list because of how well it's doing. Again, this is another health services, okay? The health service sector is doing really well. It's a big bounce. I'd like to see a new higher low form. So if this thing can pull back, form a trend or a base breakout, that would be the best sign for BTSG. And of course, we have NET, N-E-T. I can really see best case scenario, this thing doing something like this and getting really tight before rip, tater chipping to the north side where we can make a little bit of money. So that is my best case scenario for something like this. Just needs more time, guys. Just needs more time. Of course, we have AS, so Amir Sports. What I love about this is it's a newer IPO. Let me just show you this. Whoopsie. So hang on. AS. And if we look at AS, you can see it just started last year on this month last year. So it's been alive for 1 year. You can see we had this beautiful cup and handle and a breakout, another basing area here, but this thing has just been taking off. If you use the 21-day moving average on AS on a trade like this, you're doing well. They are doing very well on their percentage change month over month on their sales. So that looks really nice as well too. What I'm waiting for is a beautiful base or a trend breakout to set up. Yes, you're going to hear me say that a lot because that is my ish. That's what I like to trade, and I wait for it to happen. Okay, back in the day when I took 2 years off just to focus on my trading, I started day trading. I started taking really shitty swing setups. No, now I'm very focused on only taking 2 types of trades, and that's trend and base breakouts, following the momentum leaders. And I promise you, once you finally get that through your head and you find that this is your template, this is your way of trading, and you make it your own, then that's when the money starts really coming in. But if you keep being distracted by this or this shiny stock or this hot new chick over here, you're going to continue to do silly things. Find a process, find a way to trade. That's what we preach here, guys. Use risk management. So AS, we're giving it more time. Let's see if this thing wants to show a new base or trend breakout. RBRK, a nice cup. We need some time for the handle to form. Now, if you guys remember, Erica was here. She was over here just holding up this Netflix trade right here, doing the best she can, doing a cartwheel with one hand, holding up the market. Now, I have to say, I really like the way that this ended on Friday. It just had another inside day. I'm still holding Netflix, but I'm telling you, I'm going to get stopped out in the morning. Because if we look at Netflix right now, you can see Netflix had a screaming pullback all the way back down now. Still actually above a 10-day moving average. So, you know, I really can't complain too much about it. But I always like to use, you know, I'm a momentum trader. So if we aren't getting the momentum now, I'm going to end up stopping out of this trade, waiting for a new base breakout rather than the trend breakout like I took. So I'll show you what I took. So I seen something like this in the overall market, and I seen it come back down and retest that same trend break I got in here. So I was up a couple of bucks, but nothing where I would take half out. I would take half out up here in the 1,000, the psychological area, but we pulled back. So I played NFLU, so this thing is going to drop out on me. I'll probably lose, I don't know, another $100 on this trade for slippage, but it does not bother me that much. I've really calculated in slippage for that trade, so I am not necessarily worried at all. Next up is SNCY. This is beautiful, nice basing breakout here. It looks like it's showing another base just above that. still think it needs a lot more time. Of course, I like to give you guys at least an idea of best case scenario for me, and that would be that right there. I'd like to see a nice basing form before we rip tater chip to the north side. So we'll see if it wants to do something like that. And if it does, we'll be there to buy it up. Now, CDNA, this was a pretty good looking one. 7% ADR, health and tech. We can see we have new higher lows on this, and we can see that its earnings growth quarterly over quarterly is doing very well as its sales over here the last 3 months. With these new higher lows, riding a 200-day moving average, I really think if we start to break above this area and health XLV continues higher, I think CDNA has a good fighting chance as a stock that really has a possibility of breaking out and going higher. So I really want you guys to keep that in mind, put that on your watch list, and set your alerts. So for me, if I put in CDNA right here on my watch list, I would want to see this thing alert right away at 23.85, no higher. Okay, because now I've seen most of this action at this area happen in the $23 to $24 range, right? So if we find volume on this and we break out higher, I can expect anybody that's shorting here is going to want to cover. Anybody that's shorting here is going to want to cover, and that might really boost us up into this area before we start to consolidate and try to retake higher areas. So that's just my thoughts. We are trending up. We are holding new higher lows, and we have a beautiful daily trend that could possibly break out. And yes, B. Stewie said it. Alerts are free. Alerts are free. If you plant an alert, you go ahead and come back, take another look at it. When my alerts go off, I don't get excited. When I'm at work, I say, do I have time to look at this stock without having that fear of missing out or that greed? So if my alert goes off and I get the alert and I have the time, then I take a look at the trade. And if everything is meant to be, then I take the trade. No emotion involved. Next up is going to be VITL. And guess what, guys? We only have about 6 more stocks I want to share with you. So if you are interested in a stock and you want me to take a little peeky gander at it, we will be ready for you to drop them in the chat right meow, and I will go over them very, very soon. Now, VITL, this is Vital Farms. I just love their financials on here. This last March, they didn't do very well, but they had a lot of beats. So we're going to see. I'm just holding on to VITL. I really think there's probably better stocks out there, but I thought this one was interesting. New higher lows is uptrending. Excuse the yawn. Wow. Don't have anything to drown it out. Actually, I do. Here, we'll do the Warren Buffett, you know, like I got a can of Coca-Cola in front of me. FNMA, this is Fannie Mac. This is Fannie Mae. Now, I've been watching Fannie Mae for a long time, all the way back down here when it was a penny stock. I was watching Fannie Mae. I thought this was crazy to get ripping all the way up here. You know, their finance and lending. Now, if you look at them annually and quarterly, they're still making money. I think there's probably better stocks out here, but I just could not help but see this huge area of expansion, and now it's starting to contract. A lot of times when it starts to contract, it takes some time. There has been times like this where it's just so absolutely beautiful. Matter of fact, I remember playing this. It was either this one or this one. Let's see, January. Yeah, I think it was in January. I played this trade here, and then I ended up exiting it out somewhere in this sideways action here. But you can see right now where we are at. You can see we are starting to get that expansion here again, and now it's contracting here again very tight. So you have proper risk reward here, and it's a much faster mover if I remember right. FNMA, let's take a peek. Yeah, 15.1. So this is kind of a rip your face off kind of stock. You need to be very, very careful with that. Yosef says GEO. I think that might be on. Yeah, I have that on my thing actually, buddy. So I'm glad we're both looking at some leaders, you know. I also have TSSI on here. I thought the earnings, sales, quarterly over quarterly, was very interesting. 689% sales growth. Well, okay. So we're going to keep an eye on TSSI. I just don't see a trade there. This looks like a volume blow off top, where we might find some equilibrium here and then head lower. But it is breaking out of this channel, this basing area, and this ascending trend line. It broke out, so I'm gonna keep an eye on it. And yeah, Joseph said GEO. This is my best case scenario on GEO. It's nice to see it wicked off and found support here still and pop back up, but we need to see what it's going to do here. With an RS rating of 98, I think financially there might be better stocks that are out there. When we look at the EPS growth, it has been dwindling, and the sales growth not doing so hot. So we'll see if GEO wants to get a hold and start to head higher very soon. Now I have rum. Rum's also on here. I thought it was kind of funny. Somebody brought up rum when it first started taking off, and I just said, hey, look, on this day, I said, hey, look, this is what I would want to see for best case scenario for rum. And that was all of this, like all this yellow line that I drew here. I can erase it now, but I just wanted to show you that day what best case scenario would be. Well, guess what popped up on my watch list is rum. Rum actually popped up. Now, financially, this looks like absolute dog-ish. Like, I don't really care for that. We are starting to get some EPS growth and some sales growth, but it's not like anything, where we want to get all rummed up about. But you can see here we have expansion, we have contraction, and we have proper risk reward. We're risking an area of 5.59% on a stock that on average will move 9.5%. So that's good risk reward, in my opinion. If the stock wants to move 10% and you have a 5% risk, you're risking half the average daily range. That means you have tight risk and a lot better reward. JP, what's going on, man? Yeah, I was talking about if you're the JP from Jiu-Jitsu, which I'm assuming you are, is Google, and you getting that extra day on Google. I think you beat me on Google. You got a bigger percentage win on Google, but I'm very happy that you were able to capitalize on that. And last but not least, I wanted to bring up Real. So this is the Real. This is bags, handbags, women's accessories, and you can see quarterly over quarterly and annually they've been making money. So it's looking good for them. I'm trying to find a bag here. Just trying to find a bag, that's all. Probably take me longer than I want to find a bag, so we might have to give up on it. But we'll just, where are the bags? There we go. All right, I got a bag. We're using it. So this is the Real, their handbags, all that good stuff. And yeah, we're going to see what Real wants to do. If they want to make some money or not and hold this area, that'd be a good sign for the overall market. Now, of course, there might be some more volatility coming into Real, and I already checked this out, so spoiler alert, it's still stuck in this basing area. It did not pull back very hard. It wasn't mucho grandes to the south side. It was actually holding this 950. So we'll see in the morning if it wants to continue to hold this 950. But I like Real. I like Real. I like where their financials are at, and they're trending. They're doing very well, okay? So if this base wants to break out, I'd like to be there in that $10 area. That $10 area seems very, very nice. Jolene says she loves Real, but you ain't got one of those Real handbags, do you? You got a Real handbag? I'm going to look them up. Real handbags. We're going to look these up right now. Let's see how cool these are. We're going to shop the Real right now. All right, let's see how cool these. Oh my gosh. Okay. The first one's $1,800, $1,900 for this? For this? No, do not sign me up. Don't sign me up. No. How do I? There we go. Yeah, Jolene, I don't think you love these handbags. No, you don't, girl. It is resale? Yeah. Louis Vuitton. Oh, I see what you're saying. Okay, so I'm getting this as a resale bag. So somebody else have actually owned this bag, and they still want me to pay $1,900 for it. So holy cow. Can you guys believe that? People are paying more money than they are actually going to put in the purse. Guarantee it. Some of these people. Anyway, I mean, if you're into this thing, but regardless, if they're making money off this, if this works for them where they're taking designer bags and then reselling them, because there's there's a market for it, then they're doing well and good for them. I don't know how many competitors they have, if they're doing it differently than those competitors. But yes, like Jolene is saying in our chat, yes, high-end resale. So that's nice. Let's take a look at Lulu. So Lulu, we know that on its earnings debut did very well, big pop-up, traded sideways, and then had that basing breakout. Of course, I wanted to see a little bit more time with Lulu, and it looks like we're going to get a little bit more time because it's back down here to this 21-day moving average now, so still stuck within its trend, but creating new higher lows. If it can hold this area as its low and then create a new higher low somewhere up here, because it just went straight up. I don't trust these. I can't just buy things that go straight up. I need to see a pullback and a retest to form a new higher low, and that's exactly what Lulu is doing right now. So these retail traders are doing very well. Let me just bring this up, make sure I didn't say something stupid. Yeah, retail traders. So that's real. That's Lulu. One that's not doing so well is Abercrombie & Fitch. We talked about this being a stage 4 downtrend, and it looks like it really, truly hasn't even got the pop. I expected a little bit higher pop before heading lower, but it looks like I can almost guarantee in the morning A and F is going to look like the biggest stage 4 sell-off. Yeah, because now we're below all moving averages and below its main area of support right here. So that's a really bad sign for A and F. It looks like we are definitely in a confirmed stage 4 downtrend now. So this thing could be downtrending. I really feel like any pop on A and F back up into this 200-day moving average, that is where the real sell-off is going to start. That's where I would want to look for shorts. So expensive hand-me-down. Absolutely, B. Stewie. Those things are way too expensive. JG says Sony. Let's take a look at Sony. So I will say this, guys. When you're looking for stocks, make sure that they are above the 200-day moving average. And it looks like Sony is starting to pick up here. Now, I can already see just by looking at the daily, the volume on this thing is going to be absolute garbage. But it's saying 3.37 million on average volume. So that's not too bad, really. But you can see a lot of gap ups, probably because this is more of a Japan trader rather than an American trader. So we're seeing those gap ups. Let me just see. I don't want to say, yeah, it is Japan. So they're trading this more in Japan. You can see its sales is kind of declining. It's not very strong on its EPS or its sales. But I will have to say this, even though, it doesn't look like a very good trader, you can see on a very clear uptrend here. It has this very clear uptrend, and it's holding new higher lows. So 1, 2, 3, 4 new higher lows. It's trending. It almost looks like it's setting up a cup here, possible handle. So Sony is looking good. The only thing I guess I can argue with about Sony is that it's going to be a pretty slow mover. Let me just double check though. So it only moves 1.3% right now. That's very slow. It's a very slow mover. So I like it. I like the way it's looking. I like the way it's trending up higher. It's above all of its moving average currently. It actually broke down to 21.54 and then soaked right back up to 21.86. So it's still holding very nice, well above all of its moving averages. So yes, I like Sony. I like the way it looks. It's not one that I trade, but it might be one that you trade. And guys, we're coming to the close, so make sure if you want me to talk about your ticker, you throw it in the chat right meow, because once we get to the end, we are done, baby. HSAI. So I have an alert on HSAI at 16. It's now trading at 15.32. Let me bring it up on the best charting platform, HSAI, right here. And if you guys want this charting platform, just click on the link tree. Right here is my link tree. So if you do click on this, I'll just go ahead and put that right meow in your, bam, it's in your chat right now. You can go through all of this. You can find our Discord right here. You want to download TradingView? You want to use the awesome charting platform that the beefiest of Stu uses and myself? Click on TradingView, use my affiliate link, and if you purchase, I will actually get a nice little kickback. So that's one way of supporting me. Also, there's Instagram, TikTok, and if you have not been a part of our Facebook Swing Trader Strategies, make sure you do so now. If you're on Facebook, this is where it is all made. Where did the money flow last week? We have Sunday inspiration. Money is not a tool, not the goal. Freedom is the goal. Stay focused. We also have Whisker Buffett's always meeting the market's criteria, and our weekly ticker scan coming at you every Friday. So you can go through the same scans and you import it to TradingView. I make it so damn easy for you folks. All you need to do is click on this text and then download it right here to your TradingView. As long as you have that essential plan, everything is absolutely free just for you. So make sure you go to my link tree and click the TradingView link. All right, so let's go through HSAI. As you guys can see right here, this $16 area is very important as this basing area is starting to get tight. The RS rating is showing that it's very strong compared to the rest of the market. And you can see here our EPS growth and our sales growth is looking really, really good. So I'm really happy that I have HSAI on my watch list, and I think that you guys should too. It is producer and manufacturing auto parts, OEM auto parts, and they are on a nice grind higher. So it's nice to see that. So definitely HSAI, very good call out on that. Yeah, definitely check out that Facebook page. It's definitely one of a kind. And so I guess the last but not least thing that we can go over, guys, is my trades. We covered some of these. I'm more than happy to show you what I'm up or what I'm down. APP, even after that enormous pullback that we just got, I'm still roughly break even for APP, still holding on to the trade, just trying to hold on for dear life here because I don't want to get shaken out of APP like I did way back here in January and February before it took off without me and did some amazing things. I know sometimes APP can be a hard one to hold on to, but I'm just going to use this new higher low as my stop loss. And as long as this market sell-off can pop back up and stay within its channel, I will continue to hold APP. Now, NFLU is a 2x long derivative of Netflix, NFLX. I'm still holding it. I'm praying that it will gap back up by the morning so that way I don't get stopped out of NFLU. But if it does, it'll be a 2R loss, so nothing too crazy. Reddit, on the same note, I'm up about $84 in Reddit right now. If this pullback, if I would have added to this trade, I would be sweating bullets right now. If I would have added at any time, I would be sweating bullets right now. Me, where I'm sitting in this position, it's nowhere near my stop loss. I really like where this is at, and if we look at it down here, I'm just using this 30-day moving average as my stop loss. I can even move this up underneath to here now, but I don't need to. I could bring this up to break even, but I don't need to. I'm giving myself room. And then, of course, there's Rocket Lab, a big pullback. It's probably going to stop me out in the morning. I didn't really care for the price that I got it. I took a basing and trending breakout, a double whammy, if you will. But we've seen a lot of wicks on the 4-hour, and now it looks like it's not popping up nearly as well as some of our other trading tickers. So do keep that in mind. One thing I do want to point out while we're here, just one of the leaders that we used to hold was NVIDIA. Now, guys, this is why I always say you do not marry a stock. If you look at NVIDIA, okay, it's trading at 112.95. Let's bring it up on the best trading platform, NVDA. Here we are, and it's trading all the way down 112, okay? Did I say that right? Let me just double check. Yeah, it's 113. So we're all the way down here where my cursor is, guys. I talked to you about this big sell-off if we couldn't create new higher lows, that this could possibly be a start of a stage 4 downtrend, because this right here is going to be your stage 1. Here's your stage 2. Here's your stage 1 or 1, and here's your stage 2. Here's your stage 3, and this could possibly be the start of stage 4. Now we're all the way down to $112, so of course, we could see a pop here, but I'm telling you, this just does not look good for NVIDIA. It's got the EPS growth, it's got the sales growth, but if the technicals don't line up with the trade, you have to wash your hands of it and look for other leaders. So this is why we took NVIDIA, and that's why we took NVIDIA off the watch list, and we don't hold any chips right now because nothing is looking that good in the chip sector, okay? All right. Well, I think that concludes our session, guys. I hope you loved the new segments list. We're going to constantly make this a better trading show for you, constantly bringing you the best of the best. So make sure, if you haven't already, or if you're watching at a later time, hit that like, hit that subscribe button. We did and we will close out the poll. 43% say that the market is going to pull back further than where we sit right now. So we'll see. I tell you, one big thing about our chat room is that a lot of these market sentiments that we take, these polls that we take, are right. So it's pretty crazy to me. So, but I hope you guys have an awesome night. If there's anything I can do to make this show even better, more top-notch or high quality, let me know. All right. So I hope you guys have a good one, and we will see you guys on Wednesday in the Discord meeting. All right, guys. Thank you guys so much for being here. B. Stewie, thank you for moderating. I appreciate you, brother. And all your amazing charts in the Discord. You are keeping it live and real. Dan, Bob, thank you so much for being here. I appreciate you. I hope you have a good night too, brother. Yosef, you too, homie. Thank you for staying up in the Discord, brother. I love seeing those charts. I love that we go back and forth. And the fact that I'm out working and I can just scroll through the Discord and I see you guys hashing out different things, and I'm seeing charts and I'm staying involved. It just makes me feel so damn good for this community. We got JG. Thank you so much for stopping by and saying hi. Norman Conklin. Norman Conklin's in the building, baby. I hope you have a good night. And thank you, Norman. I appreciate you being here. And you know, I just put 2 and 2 together because your picture on here does not look like the same picture in Discord. But Norman, thank you. I appreciate you being here. And thank you for being a member, brother. That always helps. It makes me feel great when you guys support me that way. So thank you so much for being a member, Norman. Who else? We got JP in the building. Thank you for stopping by. Finn McCool. Thank you so much for stopping in. Robert Tainch, it's been a while since I've seen you. I'm glad you are doing well, sir. And let's see, No E stopped by. Erica K, I'm glad to see you in the building. Erica, I did not give you a shout out when you first showed up, but I hope you've seen you trying to hold up Netflix so well. Zamora, Smaid, Troy, Jimmy Bright, as always, thank you so much for being here. And my boy Stu Klott, popped in first thing this in the beginning of the show. So I hope you guys have an awesome one. Nothing but love goes right back to you. You guys have an amazing start to your week, and we will see you on Wednesday for our Discord meeting. Peace.